What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to the week 256 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. Got my man Cleavon up in the Northwest. How you doing today?
Man, doing all right, man. Fighting a little bit of the heat and a little bit of the humidity, but we're all right up here.
Oh my goodness, heat! What is it? Is 86 degrees today up there?
It's like 77, man. It's killing us right now.
77, and you guys are complaining about the heat.
Yeah,
you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
It's hot.
Can you hear that? Can you hear the smack? You ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. It was 93 today, 92% humidity. I'll trade you some of that any day now. You want to trade? You want a little swap?
No, I'm good, but I mean it's still on the unbearable side.
77 degrees is unbearable. Come
for
on,
206,
man.
For 206 natives, true natives, yes.
I mean, I'm a true native. I walked around those streets for 20 years. And that seems like it was spectacular weather, if you ask me. It's better than alternative, which is what? 65 and wet? Come on,
well,
we're
coming up on that in the next couple of months. So
you can't wait, huh? You can't wait. Fans, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys didn't need a weather report from my man, but thank you guys for tuning in once again to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is week 256 of the show, and we're going to get the show started just like this.
Who am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name is
Cameron.
Cam Buford.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
There's always room for improvement.
This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
As a competitor, how much does that competitive spirit get in there and say, I want to fight this guy. I want to get some of this guy.
Of course, I want to fight all the guys. Of course that. But at the same time, like I keep telling you, it's a business.
Talk about that loyalty for a moment.
I'm staying there to try to make a change. Give back to the youth, give back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. Only thing is you just got to be dedicated. You got to keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
Think about it like this. The promoter pays the fighter. The fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter, and the fighter works for the promoter.
Okay.
If you can see, you can believe.
So you are lifting weights currently?
It's not like that.
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show Voice of the Fans,
Oh my goodness!
continues to evolve.
You were adding some spice to it.
It is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
The real ones know what's going on, right?
Like you said, Pacific Northwest. So I think it's a big part of my game. And every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy for
Nobody.
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
Oh, this guy.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's Big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sports. Hey, man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do.
Yes. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast once again. This is appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys again. Appreciate you guys again for tuning in to the show. Cleavon, you working on a draft today, huh?
I am. My last one. My
you guys waiting till the last minute on this, huh?
For sure. Yeah. Don't know who scheduled it, but hey, whatever it takes, man.
So give us what's the format of this draft?
It is a keeper league with a snake draft infused in between. So I had the number 1 pick, and now I coming back for the 24 and 25 here on a couple of picks.
And so the keeper league, who's the star of your team?
The keepers that I had were Pickens from Pittsburgh and Perrine, who was on the run from Cincinnati to Denver. So that's who my guys are.
Perrine. I mean, you were desperate. You was digging deep in the barrel for that guy.
No, not really. I mean, that's just one of the keepers that I was, beholden to.
Don't you get to select who you keeping and hold over?
Correct, but it's only for 2 rounds. I'm sorry, for 2 seasons.
So you had this guy for 2 seasons? Has he made you any money?
No, not really.
Yeah, okay. All right. So who you going with today? You got the number 1 pick. Who you going after today? Let the fans know who you going after today.
I went with Bijan number 1, and then I'm going to come back and get Kenneth Walker III because there's a keeper league, and then I'm going to come back.
Look at him. He's trying to be slick.
TJ Hawkinson on that tight end field. And
interesting.
We're 22 picks away, so we'll come back and see what's still left.
Interesting. No, you like TJ now all of a sudden, huh?
I mean, not really. I mean, Kelsey was already gone. I don't know how I feel about Waller. I was very high on him earlier, but then I'm like, it is still Darren Waller. So I'm assuming that Hawkinson might have a little bit more production than Waller, but you never can tell. Maybe hopefully scenery for Waller will be great, and he'll be able to stay healthy and do his thing.
Well, hopefully you draft better than you did in the Voice of the Fans draft, and you come up with something a little bit more promising. Because fans, and let me show you this guy's draft here that was that essentially stunk. I'll pull it up for you guys. So fans, let us know what you guys think of this lineup. Deshaun Watson, who says he's going to make sure the Browns fans have a happy ending this season. Justin Jefferson. Mark, go ahead and spit this nasty squad out. Go ahead and talk about.
No. You talk about it. I've already pontificated on the greatness of my squad. It's going to be fantastic.
You already pontificated? I mean, you don't have
Travis Etienne Jr., Jahmyr Gibbs is my running backs. You know what I'm saying? Zay Flowers is on the bench.
You stole Gibbs from me. I say that.
Amari Cooper, who Deshaun Watson is going to be throwing to, it's going to be
Drake London. You feel good about that one, huh?
I'm okay with Drake.
Drake London, and you sitting.
Desmond Ritter's got to throw it to somebody, and if Drake's not doing his thing, then Zay Flowers can be easily inserted into that lineup. So can Jahan Dotson running behind that Eric Bieniemy offense.
I noticed how you benching CJ Stroud. Is he going to get any playing time this season?
Quite possibly. We're not 100% sure right now, but we'll see.
I mean, what's he looking like in practice?
Looking great.
Now you guys want to see a real squad. You guys want to see a real squad here with Justin Herbert at the helm. Justin Herbert, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Woo. Kenneth Walker III, the aforementioned Kenneth Walker III. You got Joe Mixon. Now, I might need a little upgrade at tight end. Honestly. Fairmouth, although he's been consistent in the past, his numbers ain't looking so hot right now. He didn't look too good in our walkthrough the other day. Mike Williams is my third wide receiver. Did you check that out? Behind Jamar?
I did, and he's going to be your second receiver once Amon-Ra St. Brown gets hurt once again because he's not that durable. So Amon-Ra St. Brown has caught more passes than anybody in the last 2 years in the NFL. Are you familiar with that? Oh wow, good for you, Cam. Are you hoping up for that as well?
I'm good. He's in my starting lineup.
Okay,
I think he's in the starting lineup. We got Rashad White, Damian Pierce on the bench right now. Dante, you said Ritter's gonna have to. I got Pickett who's gonna have to complete some passes. I got Johnson waiting to catch some passes. Rice might need a little upgrade. He was a little drops. He had the dropsies. in our walkthrough. So he had to. I'm a little concerned about that. Zay Jones is ready to step up for him, and Devontae A-Chain. We might have to make a replacement there. So I got a couple people that I'm looking at who didn't have a stellar practice over the weekend that I'm really kind of concerned with. So we might have to make some moves there. But that's a pretty solid squad right there. I'm really comfortable with that tandem. So again, we got a couple people. Our walkthrough didn't look so hot. There we go. What's good, Ninja? What's good? You want to see Cleveland's team again? You want to see that crap? I know there's some relation there. Ninja don't want to admit it.
No. Please see the squad one more time and just see
Ninja don't want to admit.
Ninja.
Here you go, Ninja.
See what I'm doing out here.
Go ahead. You guys have a little conversation there, Ninja. Yeah, a little kissy face, the two of you guys.
Just give me some feedback. See what you're thinking about it.
What I think about it. Like I
I'm
said,
not talking to you. I already know what you think about it. I mean, you think
Deshaun Watson
on some things it's not gonna do, but that's fine.
I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs. I was gonna take Jahmyr Gibbs, but you got him. We were in this. I had two. You had one. I was gonna take Jahmyr Gibbs, but you got him right. A pick before me. Hawkinson was a guy I did target, but again, you got him before me, so I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that. The rest of this crap, Carner, come on, get out of here. Pacheco, what are you doing? Zay Flowers, I wanted him, but I waited a little too long to get him. Dalton Schultz, I seen him mention his name, and all of a sudden he got picked up by you. And then there's your boy CJ, who I don't think you're going to be moving that pick. You're going to be moving that pick later on week 6 or 7. You might be looking for a backup quarterback. So, Ninja, what you think about his squad there, Ninja? Let us know. Let us know in the chat what you think about his squad. Thank you for tuning in. Ninja was calling for you over the weekend during our part 2 of the Sunday special. But Cleveland was already gone, crying and whining about his draft pick, trying to make some changes. But he didn't realize that changes couldn't be made. Fans, so each and every week as we do, we start the show, we talk about what we're going to talk about this week is NFL. We're going to make our picks. First week of making our picks, actually, since the end of the season. I'm going to talk about the FIBA World Cup Championship. We're going to talk some MLB. Got some MLB to talk about. The Mariners, I don't know. They start reading their press clippings or what, Cleveland? They've been reading their press clippings the last couple of weeks or the last week or so. Because they've fallen off that pace that they were on. Now they're looking up at the Houston Astros, who's, again, asserting themselves as AL West champs, right? And we're going to give you this week in history, as always. We're going to leave you guys off with a good quote, but we're going to start the show as we do each and every week. When we talk about a player numbers game and talk about our numbers, we're going to look at the number 6, with it being September 6, 2023, and a number 56, with it being week 256 of the podcast, Cleveland. So when you think of the number 6, who are that number best? Or who do you think of first when you think of the number 6, sir?
Number 6 or number 56?
The number 6, with it being September 6th, we look at the number 6. And when you think of the number 6, who wore that number best?
Who wore that number? Who comes to mind first is Julius Erving, Dr. J. Who wore it best was LeBron James.
Bill Russell. Have you heard of that guy? Got 11 rings. Got 11 rings.
Actually, given the climate right now, that is a little bit of a misstep on my part. Bill Russell.
Given the climate? What do you mean given the climate? When did that ever change?
I mean, Bill Russell just recently passed away. He's been an 8 of the 206 for quite some time. So, I was a little bit remiss in not, giving him his props, and I'm rescinding that. It is actually Bill Russell. You're correct.
Okay, when you think of the number 56, it should really only be one person that come to your mind who wore that number best, right?
Yeah, that's just Lawrence Taylor for me. Don't know if you had some other people you were thinking about.
I mean, is there any other? When we think of the number 56, there's only one person. Got to be Dr. J. I think you got to think Bill Russell too, though. When you think 56, I mean, you want to talk about Truex Jr.? Is that what you want to talk about? The race car driver?
Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor. There's no doubt about that one. There's absolutely no doubt about that one. No question on that one there, Ninja. No question. You're right about that, buddy. Looking into the NFL season or the NFL topics, man. First thing that come to mind is Travis Kelce. This will be obviously he's not going to play tomorrow. This will be the first game Patrick Mahomes played without Travis Kelce. This will be the first game that Patrick Mahomes ever played without Travis Kelce. And so, with that being said, I mean, I think they're just things is the world is just trying to make things challenging, I guess, for Patrick Mahomes. A couple years ago, they sent Tyreek Hill down to Miami, so he had to live without his game breaker last season. And then this year, now they're starting off with Travis Kelce. It'll probably be 2 to 3 weeks without Kelce. So just to try to make things challenging and see. I guess keep it fun. What did it say? You're trying to keep it fun for Patrick Mahomes? Because make it interesting. We're going to get to our pick segment later, but who would you say the Chiefs will miss most? Because they're not going to have Chris Jones, and they're not going to have Travis Kelce. Who will they miss most in their first game tomorrow night against the Lions?
Oh, they'll miss Travis Kelce the most. I mean, that's Patrick Mahomes' security blanket without question.
You don't think trying to stop Detroit's run, stop Jared Goff from putting up 300, 400 yards passing tomorrow is an issue? That's not a concern?
No, they're still running the Kansas City Chiefs offense. So, I mean, whatever the Detroit Lions were able to do on their best day, they should be able to surpass that on the offensive side of the ball. So, but without Travis Kelce, the one that kind of moves the chains, gets those tough third and eights, that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. So we'll see how they respond.
Nick Bosa gets a big deal, big deal. 5 years, 170 mil. Woo. That's big coin right there. That's almost 30 mil a year. 122 guaranteed. Does this change? If I take a look, it seemed like that was a non-impact to you because somehow you got the Steelers still beating the Niners this week.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to now, but you don't want to explain that?
No, I mean, it's just, I'm just going against conventional wisdom, Cam. I mean, we'll see what, the system, we'll see what ultimately ends up. But yeah, I'm just trying to, shake it up a tad bit, especially early. I don't really have a whole lot to lose. I mean, I see who I'm going up against. So it's not like I, don't have some margin for error to kind of experiment.
Oh, really? There's no margin for error? I'm not sure
there is. That's what I'm saying. There is. There's some margin for error. So you can take some risks early in the season, kind of see what happens because there's plenty of time to make it up.
I mean, I wouldn't go that route. I wouldn't say, dare you say that? How dare you say that when you had a tough time in the pick segment for this season? What are you talking about?
No, I won the pick segment last year, so I understand the competition that I'm going up against, and we're sparring right now. It's week 1, a couple games here and there, kind of feel it out. If I get a lucky bounce, then great. I'm not as sold on the 49ers as everyone else is. They are formidable. They're deep. They do what they do really, really well, but I think they've kind of made some missteps and kind of rest on their laurels a tad bit. It's just my personal opinion.
So okay, fans. So here I'm gonna show you guys this here, fans. When Cleveland get to spouting off stuff and making stuff up, I have to. He forgets. I got fact checkers in the office, so people can go and fact check some of the stuff that he says. Cleveland hasn't realized that yet. So let me pull this up. Thank you for pulling that up. Appreciate you guys for pulling this up. But yeah, I got a fact checker for Cleveland who just doesn't get it. I don't know why. When he says something so wild and outlandish, like do you forget? Like I got I mean, we can fact check that some of that stuff you said. So what did you say about last year, buddy? You said you won a pick segment. There's our picks right here. Picks for the year, 65 to 64%. I believe that's me with the win. You did win the pick against the spread somehow. That's what you did win. Picks against the spread. Even the confidence picks, you did not win that, sir. So are you ready to retract that?
No, I mean, no, that's some weirdness right there, Cam.
See, Ninja. Yeah, Ninja. I got evidence.
That's weird.
Ninja, I got evidence for you right
I'm
here.
right here, and I'm right. You know, whatever.
This is evidence. This is 100% facts, fellas.
Weird.
This is what we do.
Weird. That looks distorted. Fans, I don't know.
That looks distorted.
Looks distorted.
That looks distorted right here. Confidence picks 75%.
You guys know how Cam does it. You know, sometimes it's legit. Sometimes it's like I don't remember that. So
you don't remember that? I mean, here's facts. How are you gonna say you don't remember facts? I'm pulling it up. You want to see? Okay, you want to see when this was from? This is from February 2023, week 228. See, fans, we do this. We got a history, and we can go into the archives and we can check the facts. This is called fact checking. And so when Cleveland makes up a lie like that, I have to go back and correct them. And so now he says,
"Okay, well, fans, I'm guaranteeing I will win the pick segment this season, guaranteed, guaranteeing it."
You want to put something on that? You got something on that?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah.
Oh, you're not quite so sure.
I'm not quite so sure I'm going to win it, but I mean, we'll get to the actual that portion of the segment of that show, you know, here in a minute. Yeah,
distorted. That's right, Ninja. You say looks distorted. Exactly. When we got empirical data for you guys to check out, he's gonna say it looks distorted, and then that's right. So, Bosa gets paid. The Jets now compare themselves to the 85 Bears and the 13 Seahawks. Now, Cleveland, you have to agree this is going too far.
Yeah, it's too far.
You have to agree.
One of those comparisons is way too far. Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, what are we going to do about these guys? I mean, people got Aaron Rodgers being an MVP candidate, which no one thinks, and they come out. Robert Saleh is telling stories that he got from the nursery book to try to motivate the squad. I don't see how they're motivated. If you guys watch, whoever watch, what is it, Hard Knocks? I don't see any motivation from Robert Saleh at all, in my opinion. I don't see any motivation from that dude at all. And now the Jets are talking about 85 Bears and the 13 Seahawks. Like, what's going on? What's going on? This is exactly what you want, huh?
Well, I mean, the Dallas Cowboys said the exact same thing about their defense. Micah Parsons and them compared themselves to the Legion of Boom, et cetera, et cetera. You know, it's just when the defense gets really full of themselves and, is, feeling very confident that, that is the standard. That's the barometer. That's the bar that they're trying to measure themselves against. Now, clearly it's a little premature because They haven't really actually done anything. But that defense is very formidable, as you well know, Cam, from last season.
So what do you think? Even Brady is jumping on the bandwagon by saying he thinks Rodgers is going to have a good season. What do you think about Tom Brady's input into this whole scheme? You know, he's always looking for it.
You know, it means nothing. He's trying to, kind of make his soiree into broadcasting here in a year or so. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, I'm telling you, you guys is kissing cousins or something.
That's I mean, he understands. We relate.
Kissing cousins or something. What do you think about Sean Payton telling Russell Wilson to stop kissing the babies? Is this?
Sean Payton's got that hardcore. He's Parcells disciple. He thinks he's the straw that stirs the drink, even though he doesn't really actually play any of the positions. He just calls some plays and tries to have that, that mentality, that culture that he's trying to bring. I mean, Sean Payton is, he's got one Super Bowl under his belt. That was great. That one time at band camp.
One time.
Yeah,
Sean Payton, he was he got a raw deal during the Bounty Gate. I don't
Did he really? Got a raw deal?
Yeah, he got a raw deal. Come on, man.
Oh, they shouldn't have done all that to him.
I mean, every sideline, every team in the NFL sends players out there on defense. Cleveland. We're in, what is this, year 57, Cleveland? For 40 years, they sent the defense out there to hurt and maim the quarterback.
Okay.
So, and we're talking about, that was 2008, 2009. It sounds crazy to say this, but that was nearly 15 years ago. Okay. And before PC become a major part of society. So yes, he was commanding his defense and his defense to get out there and hurt the quarterback. Absolutely. That's what you do. That's when the receiver in the time before, the receiver goes over the middle, whether he catches it or not, you lay him out. So he's thinking about that hit versus catching the ball next time he goes over the middle. Now they changed the rules. The NFL has gotten soft, and you can't go hit that receiver whether he catches it or not. It becomes targeting. And I mean, I saw, I don't know what game was that? What game that was? Duke versus Clemson on 4th down. The quarterback, Clemson's quarterback, it was 4th and 7. The Clemson quarterback was running for the first down, and for whatever reason, he slid at 6 yards and not 7 yards. But the defender, as he slid, the defender kind of launched and took off. Went to go hit him. And the quarterback slid. The defender kind of went down with him. And I didn't see him contact him. And they called roughing, or no, what did they call? A personal foul. It was targeting, and the kid got ejected for hitting the quarterback. Number one, you can't hit the quarterback once he slides. Okay, that's fair enough. But they said he targeted him. He never hit him with his head. And I thought it was if you watch that game, it was kind of an odd call because he slid before he got the first down. So it was kind of a bang play. He slid before they got the first down, and they said they marked the ball down there and then marched off 15 yards because it was a dead ball foul, which gave it to Duke. It was a weird play, but it was an example of how targeting has impacted the game. That's why I brought that up. How targeting has impacted the game. They didn't have that call 15 years ago. There was no targeting 15 years ago. It was go get the quarterback. So for 40 years, that's been ingrained in guys like Sean Payton, coaches like Sean Payton. And who was the defensive coordinator? It was really the defensive coordinator that sicked the.
Yeah, it was Greg Williams. Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, Cam. You're just condoning what the league was trying to take out of the game, legislate out of the game, and he just completely circumvented that. In addition to when he was going into the medicine cabinet, popping pills every, other day. So,
I mean, come on.
You
don't think you don't think the players are popping pills anymore? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm trying to say
because they changed the rules.
I'm trying to
the
say
players
is
don't
I
are
completely
popping pills
100% you understand you defending Sean Payton because that's your style of football. So that's fine.
I mean, that's 95% of football fans' style of football. What do you don't just say mine? That's 95%, or because of the new PC, maybe it's 92%.
I'm not a huge Sean Payton fan. It's not because of the PC. It's because he's extremely arrogant and has not accomplished that much to be that arrogant.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
I was just defending him and and he got a raw deal with the bounty gate. He got a raw deal. You don't think so? You don't think he got a raw deal in the bounty gate? Like that was wrong to target one coach when the whole game of football is to go get the quarterback.
It wasn't just him. All those guys got it. So it wasn't just him.
Well, he got it. He got it worse. He got suspended for a whole year because he was the head coach.
Well,
but I'm saying
he was the one that came back and said, hey, he knew all about it and he was okay with it.
Well, come on. I mean, he was okay with it because he knew he was going to get a job later instead of like being like John Gruden. I'm a suited league.
I mean, he already had the same job. He got the same job back a year later. They didn't fire him or anything.
I mean, because he just won a Super Bowl for the team.
He got a little bit of carte blanche, so to speak.
Well, I don't know carte blanche. I just think the targeting rules has kind of changed the game in a way. But yeah, I think Sean Payton suffered from little man syndrome. If anything, he is a little arrogant, but he's definitely suffered from little man syndrome. He's all of 5'3", and might be 150 at 60 years old. Might be 150. Sean Payton is definitely a little guy. No, the D he got suspended. He didn't get suspended a full season, did he, Ninja? I don't think Williams got suspended for a full season.
Mickey Loomis got suspended as well. I mean, it wasn't just Sean Payton. I mean,
Sean Payton, the only one that got suspended for one full season. These guys got a couple games here and there. Because in fact, Greg Williams, he went on to somewhere else, and he was for the first 4 to 5 games or something. But Sean Payton got the whole season. That was definitely not right. He ended up biting a bullet for all of that. So that was not right. But him and Russell, is that relationship going sour, do you think? Or, I mean, they paid him a lot of money. Is he going to be there?
I don't know if Russell's going to be there. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's getting off to a great start. I mean, Russell is kind of used to either a Pete Carroll environment or a coach that he had a lot of control over as the quarterback. So this is not either one of those scenarios or environments. So we'll see how it works out. Don't have a whole lot of confidence in it at the onset, though.
What do you think? He was thinking. See, there's that unison again. There's that unison again. There's that unison again. What do you think? So Carl Nesbitt, the Browns 2016 round 3 selection, the first openly gay player in the NFL, he decided to retire. Will he get a jersey retirement somewhere? You think somebody retire his jersey? He got selected by the Browns, play for the Raiders. Will somebody retire his jersey?
No.
No, he says no right off the bat. Okay. So Cleveland, last we looked at we decided our playoff teams. I'm gonna read you guys our playoff teams, how we picked them so far. AFC East, Cleveland has the Jets. AFC North, Cleveland has the Bengals. AFC South, Cleveland has the Jaguars. AFC West, Cleveland has the the Chiefs. In the AFC, I have the Bills. In the AFC East, I have the Bills. AFC North, I have the Bengals. AFC South, I have the Jaguars. AFC West, I have the Chiefs as well. In the NFC, we both have the Eagles in the NFC East. I have the Lions in the NFC North. Cleveland has the Vikings in NFC North. We both have the Niners in NFC West winning. These are division winners I'm calling out. NFC South, I have the Saints. Cleveland has the Falcons. The extra AFC teams, they're going to be 3 teams on top of the division winners that make the playoffs. The extra AFC teams, we both have the Ravens. I have the Chargers and the Bills, and I have the Dolphins and the Steelers. Or I have the Chargers. Cleveland has the Bills. I have the Dolphins. I have the Steelers. So Cleveland has 3 teams in AFC. Outside of division winners are the Steelers, Bills, and Ravens. Is that correct?
Correct.
AR5? What are you talking about? I have the AFC is Dolphins, Chargers, and Ravens again. NFC teams, the extra 3 teams in NFC I have winning or making the playoffs. Cleveland has Washington Commanders, the Dallas Cowboys, and Seattle Seahawks.
Correct.
I also have the Seahawks and the Cowboys. I have not the Washington Commanders. I have the Green Bay Packers making the playoffs. So there's our 7 teams in the making the playoffs. Cleveland, who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
You got the Kansas City Chiefs being the first team to repeat since 2002. I think it is. And just to be contrarian, I'm going to go with the Eagles winning the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah. AR-15 or AR-5, that's a new nickname you made up for him. Anthony Richardson. I mean, it's going to be a lot up and down. It's going to be a lot of up and down. The Colts aren't making the playoffs, so they're not contending for the playoffs. But this will be a good growth year. He has a new coach. There's no pressure on him. It depends on how long Jonathan Taylor sits out.
Well, he's already on the PUP list, so I mean,
so that's 4 weeks. That makes it tough.
So yeah, it's gonna be a rough.
Thank you, Bootzilla. Appreciate 2004 was the last repeat.
It's gonna be a rough baptism for AR.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fill out year. Might as well go with him versus he'll probably be better. He can't be any worse than Phillip Rivers was and Matty Ice was. He can't be any worse than either one of those guys. So give the young guy a shot. Let's ride with him and let's see how his rookie year, if he can build upon it and how much he changes this year. So we'll see. I mean, don't expect much. Just enjoy his game. That's what I would say about Anthony Richardson. Just enjoy his game because there's not a lot to do there. Now, first week of the NFL season, obviously the week starts tomorrow, so we get to look at. We do this. I just showed you guys the result from last season that Cleveland said was distorted. I find that interesting how that was a distorted view.
Quite distorted.
I just find
we're going to go with a scoreboard every week this season, ladies and gentlemen. Voice of the fans. Yeah. So going into every week, we're going to know. Yeah.
Well, again, he says it's distorted. This is the same way we've been tracking our weeks for the last. I mean, this have to be 7 years we've been tracking our weeks like this, 7 seasons. I know I got a file that goes back to 2011, but it's kind of changed.
Wow, we have exactly one difference.
No, there's a couple. There's a couple of differences. I have Green Bay.
I'm sorry, there's two.
And I got San Francisco.
Okay.
So I can't take the Falcons. I mean, you're high on the Falcons. I'm not as high on the Falcons, but I can't take the Panthers with their rookie quarterback and kind of a faulty defensive line. I can't take them over the Falcons, who we know is going to run the ball, and at least their quarterback is not a rookie, so he has another year. He got a year ahead of Bryce Young. The only close game is I was tempted to take the Lions, but the defending.
You were tempted to take the Lions against the Chiefs, were you? Still time to change that if you want to.
I'm good. I'm good.
You okay? You okay there?
I was tempted, but I'm good. I'm good. I think the defending champs is going to be. They're primed and ready to go for this one. Bijan is going to get. He's going to get ran like. What's your guy from Murray? DeMarco Murray. He's going to get ran like DeMarco Murray, like young Marshall Faulk. They're going to run it. They're going to get every bit of 315 touches out of him this season. Every bit of it. Wentz was bad. Wentz and Ryans were bad. Yeah. So the Bucks versus the Vikings, like I'm not a high on the Vikings, but the Bucks aren't going to beat those guys. New Orleans, I think New Orleans is going to be quietly. They're going to be pretty solid. Quietly, they're going to be pretty solid. I don't think Tannehill and the young rookie quarterback is on that level. You want to explain to the folks why? I know there's a little corny theory you have about the West Coast team going east. I know that's a little corny theory you got, but is that all you're hinging on the Steelers beating the Niners?
Well, first of all, it's not a corny theory.
It's very corny. Very corny.
If you do the research, you will find out that it definitely pans out more often than not. Secondly, their best defensive players just now signing a contract. So, just finally got his head right as far as that's concerned. And then Brock Purdy against a pretty formidable defense, just saying. And it's on the road, Cam. I mean, we'll have to see how this new offense looks. I mean, they have a two-headed, running back by committee. Got some receivers that are looking really, really nice. Got one of the Watt brothers back there. Got Porter Jr. back there.
So you think a guy like Nick Bosa needs time to get warmed up? Is that what you're saying? You don't think he's been? You think a guy like Nick Bosa needs some time to get warmed up? You don't think he's been practicing? You don't think he understands the game enough?
I'm so sorry, Cam. You was quoting my coach earlier. What did he say? Something about boxing. You want to use that analogy on me real quick again?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
You're not sure what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
You're coach now. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Yeah, I see how you like to pick and choose when to use certain things. That's cool. That's cool.
I don't know what you're talking about. Refresh the fans. What are you talking about? Yeah, again, New Orleans.
If you get in a box, sometimes you need to spar a little bit. He ain't been sparring.
Again, he just needs to get after the quarterback.
Ninja, wait, this is the first time that we have really 100% been on opposite sides of the spectrum, man.
Good call, Ninja. Supreme confidence, he says.
Goodness.
Supreme confidence.
How could you have supreme confidence in Mr. Irrelevant? That's tough.
Because Mr. Irrelevant went 9-1. Like, how is somebody ignoring 2 months of winning football in the NFL? Like, I don't understand.
It's the way he was winning.
Talk about it, Ninja. He's getting on you, Ninja. Sanford, you tell him, Ninja. You tell him. Yeah, he's not seeing it. He's not seeing it.
I don't have the supreme confidence that you guys have.
He picked the Steelers over them, Ninja. So yeah, Washington over the Cardinals. Cardinals are gonna stink. The Ravens over the Texans. Yeah, I got Green Bay. I'm telling you, I got Green Bay having. Green Bay is going to be better than most people think. I got them in the playoffs. I'm looking from what I saw from Jordan Love. Like he's playing on target. He looks comfortable. He doesn't look nervous like you see a lot of these young quarterbacks look. He sat on the
he's
bench.
not young, Cam. He's been there for like 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah. Well, he's been itching to get out there and play. Okay, so now he gets his chance to play, and I think we're going to see some good things from Jordan Love when he finally gets out there. The Raiders stink. So, I mean, this is a battle of futility is the Raiders and the Broncos. Although it has some history, both of these teams are fighting for the bottom of the division. What do you say? That's the evidence are related. I always agree, but San Fran would be great. There you go. What do you mean they were probably lose to Tomlin? Come on, Ninja. Stand your ground. Stand your ground, Ninja. Don't let him talking about Tomlin shake you up.
He understands. He understands.
The Eagles and the Patriots. The Eagles is going to dominate that game. The good one is going to be that's probably the game of the day. Certainly the game of the afternoon is going to be the Dolphins traveling to the Chargers. Like that's going to be a barn burner right there. It has the potential, I should say, to be a barn burner. We'll see how Staley's defense stands up to the speedy wide receiver cores. Last year, they were able to kind of frustrate young Tua Tagovailoa by he was on that stellar pace. He was on that stellar pace, and then what the Chargers decided to do, instead of playing those quick guys up close and man to man, he dropped the linebackers back 10 yards. He dropped had the safety stay flat at that 10 to 15 yard line yard mark, and that crossing routes was not open for Tua. So hopefully McDaniels has an answer to what they saw last year that really stifled that Miami defense. So that'll be curious to see that chess game, and then Justin Herbert is on the other side of the ball, and he wants to prove and show what Miami missed out on, because Miami could have took Herbert at number 5 and not Tua at number 5, and they could have had Justin Herbert throwing to Tyreek Hill and to Waddle. What do you think about that combo? Woo! What would you think about that combo there?
Oh, Cam, they're happy with the quarterback they have, Tua Tagovailoa, franchise quarterback. Future of the team.
No, so. You just heard my man from Scott Hansen say this is a big year for Tua Tagovailoa to prove Tua's still on the prove it cycle. He still has to prove himself. Herbert got his big contract. Tua has to prove it. So you heard what Hansen had to say. Unprovoked that was. But I think that's going to be the game that could be the game of the day. There certainly is going to be the game of the afternoon. Is that Dolphins at Steelers or at Chargers? Excuse me. Rams at Seahawks. That's going to be Seahawks should put up 31 on those guys. It should be like a 31-12, 31-10, 31-11, 31-14 at the most, something like that. Cowboys and Giants. Who you got we both have the Cowboys in that one. It's pretty I'm just not sold on Daniel Jones. I'm not saying sold on Daniel Jones. Not saying that he can't have a good game, but he's not going to rush for 700 yards like he did last season. I don't expect that. So the Cowboys, I expect them to handle them pretty well. Bills versus the Jets is going to be another good one, but I got Buffalo. Buffalo's dropping some salt, going to Jet Life Stadium, as they call it, and pouring some more cold water on your guy Aaron Rodgers on his debut. What you think about that? A little cold water on your debut for you, big fella?
No, I do think that it's going to be a tough, hard-fought loss for the Jets that first game. But it's just going to turn around eventually. It's just going to be full speed ahead.
Eventually, like week 6. Eventually,
no, like week 2. It's tough coming right out the chute, man, against a team that was in the semis last year. So
why would you say it's tough coming right out the chute? Because you guys don't practice, you don't play any games. There's no real you don't use a preseason for what it's intended for. Is that why you say it's tough?
it's a real tough game, but
because they're not
going to make the most of it. But as you can say all you want, but eventually it's just going to cost you an elbow. So,
I mean, if they just keep losing, you just say it's a real tough game. They can't handle it. Salah's going to be in over his head, and the Bills are good. The Bills, the AFC.
What I said is that I picked the Bills to win that game.
Yeah,
because they should.
I see that. The fans can see that. The fans see that very well.
Yeah.
And has there been any distortion there, sir? I just want to clear this up. Has there been any distortion with these these picks?
I said it was going to be a hard fought game. I said they should win that game. If they don't, then that's an incredible cause for concern, wouldn't you say? Especially with your elbows.
I think the Jets are going to go like 2-4 to start the season. Okay. They're gonna have some makeup room to do. Well. No, I'm not antagonizing. I'm just calling it how I see it.
No.
I don't have the Jets making the playoffs. So
it's called just being a hater. He drinks a big tall glass of haterade.
What hating on what? Because I don't have the Jets making the playoffs.
You can't see it, fans, but it's a big tall glass of haterade.
Because my glass and my water bottle's empty right now, so I don't know what you're talking about. Because I don't have the Jets making the playoffs, I'm a hater. That's what you're saying?
Just the way you're talking about it. It's very disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I said they probably are not going to win the game. I picked the Bills to win the game, and you went on this whole other tangent like they're going to go 2-4 and 2-5, and they're not going to do this and they're not going to do that. It's like, hey, slow down. I just said, first game of the season against the team that was in the semifinals last year might be kind of tough. That's all I said.
Every week's important. Every week's important, Ninja. Every week's important in the NFL. Every week is important in the NFL. You only got 17. They add up real fast. So we got the Jaguars and the Colts. The Colts are going to stink, as we talked about earlier. We got the Jaguars in that one. So do you. Our picks against the spread. Now, here's where, we can make a lot of the same picks, but while we throw this portion of the segment in there, it's just to kind of divvy it up a little bit. So Cleveland can't keep, Cleveland used to, years ago, he was trying to copy off my paper and make similar picks and be like, okay, if I just make one or two picks here, maybe I can overtake them, or at worst, I'll be 2 picks behind. But now we force them. We threw the picks against the spread in here, just kind of divvy it up against them. So as you see here towards the bottom of the screen, you guys can see that, right? Can you see that? There we go. Towards the bottom of the screen, right here where my mouse is. Picks against the spread right there. We got to pick every week. We pick 3 games against the spread. It could be either one of the games. We just pick 3 games every week, and then we'll go ahead and get a score down here. He did beat me, to his credit. I mean, he wasn't much better than me, but I was 40%. I was terrible last year against the spread. He beat me by 3 points, I think it was. At 3 points, I think it was. I was absolutely horrible.
Well, Cam, I will win again. So
Well, I mean, yeah, I hear you talking. I hear you talking.
You hear me talking?
Yeah. I hear you talking. Yeah. But so there's our picks, regular pick segment. Here's our picks against the spread, and so I got San Francisco. I think they're going to beat Pittsburgh straight out. I got them straight up, and so might as well go ahead down and put them against the spread. I got Green Bay. I think they're going to beat the Bears straight up. So go ahead and take this one, put it against the spread. The Seahawks and the Rams, again, you already heard me predict the score, something like 31-14 at the very worst. So that the Seahawks will.
That is by far your best pick of the 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So you say. Because you're gonna get 2 of these wrong for sure. Minnesota, I mean, who they're playing, the Bucks. Yeah, the Bucks are gonna be challenged anyway. Minnesota and Jefferson's gonna have Jefferson will beat the Bucks in scoring on his own. Jefferson's gonna do that on his own. So that's part 2 of our pick segment, fans. That's part 2. So we have our regular picks for this for each week that we do. We use the same spreadsheet. This year is going into Google Sheets, so both of our accountants can look it over and make sure that there's no indiscretions or disparities or distortion, as Cleveland wanted to use earlier. So this would be available, a fresh document that's available for both of us all week long. Pittsburgh will beat the spread. Pittsburgh won't beat San Francisco, buddy. So sorry about that. So we have our picks against our regular picks. Then we have our picks against the spread, and then even to make it more tough, even make it tougher. And this is where I dominate again. Not only did I win the pick segment, so I won 2 of the 3 categories. When Cleveland was just throwing stuff off, I'm gonna win this week. I got margin for error. Cleveland, you didn't win any. You won 30% of our pick segment. 30%. Because I dominate in this category as well. So we have our ratings 1 through 5. We get points for every point. We pick 5 games.
I love this early part of the season, man. Just the enthusiasm, just the optimism. It's amazing. I love it.
Again, I'm going off of evidence. I got empirical data to say how I dominate this category.
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, you have forensic accountants on both sides now. So yeah, we're gonna go through this.
I got empirical data. So this is how this works. Our confidence picks for every week, fans. So when you see this coming up week after week, you understand what goes into this. Of the 16 games, we take 5 teams and we give them a confidence level of where we think they're going to win. So as an example, I'm so confident in the San Francisco beating the Steelers. Not only did I pick them in my pick segment, in my picks against the spread.
Absolutely love that.
I pick them. I give them the 5. Okay, I'm beating the Steelers. Mm-hmm. Jacksonville, I give a 4. KC, I give it 3. The Seahawks, I give it 2. And Green Bay, I give it 1. So Green Bay wins, I get 1 point. Seattle wins, I get 2 points. KC wins, I get 3 points. Jacksonville wins, I get 4 points, etc., all the way up. And so these points, these are tally up and then give us a winning percentage, and we'll do this week after week after week. So you'll see a running total each week, fans. If you guys stick with the show, you see that's what I showed you guys earlier. Do I still have it up? I don't think I still have it up. Do I still have it up? I'm going to pull it up. This is a running total, fans. Can you guys see this or no? Let me stop sharing real quick. Remove. Stop share. Come back. Just so you fans, just so you guys can see every week what this looks like. And again, I got data. We can go back on this. So again, last year 283 games. Although it was by a small margin, a win is a win is a win, right? 65% to 64%. There he did win the picks against the spread. Again, it was a small margin, but he did win. I have to give it to him. That was just terrible. I was just horrendous all year. 40%. I was just horrendous. But then here's where I dominate. Here's my 75% in my confidence picks. I got it right 75% of the time. Cleveland got it right 70% of the time. That's data. That's data right there. You can't refute that. Where Cleveland wants to say, and here's my playoff winning percentage right there. Picks against the spread. See, playoff picks against the spread. I picked it up, and then there's my playoff winning percentage right there, friends. So you guys can see that as well. Again, that's straight data, straight facts, and Cleveland wants to dispute that. What'd you say, Ninja? How you get 3 points for every pick, 4 points for Lamar Jackson? That's where. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is straight data, straight facts here that cannot be refuted. And again, Cleveland tries, but I got data, I got facts, I got my specialists in accounting on this. So every year after year, week after week, you guys can see. If you guys follow the show, you'll be able to see how things transpire week after week. So that's our pick segment. I'll give you guys some of the top stories that I'm relying on this season. Some of the top stories that I'm looking forward to this season. I'd like to hear what your top stories are. Obviously, we know Ninja's looking at AR, what you say, AR5? You're looking at AR5 and how his season's going to be. I'm looking at my top story, Cleveland, and you can let the fans know what your top story is. Number one, I go from number 5 to 1. How about that? Number 5 is obviously, can the Chiefs repeat? Cleveland already picked them to repeat. I'm not sure that they can repeat. Can the Chiefs repeat? That's my number 5 story of the week in the NFL. Number 2 story is do the Eagles avoid a Super Bowl hangover? And I have them avoiding the Super Bowl hangover by going back and winning the Super Bowl. So that's how I would answer that. So that's a yes. Was yet to be seen is how do the Chargers rebound from that horrible playoff loss? That's everybody should be wondering that. I mean, again, fans, let us know what your top stories of the year are. What your top story of the year is in the NFL. My second story in the NFL: A-Rod signs with the Jets. How did this story end? You already know. You already know how I feel this story is going to end because I do not have the biplanes making the playoffs. So you already know. You guys should already know how I have this season ending. And then the number 1 story, most important storyline of the year in the NFL, the most important storyline of the year in the NFL, Cleveland, is how many games does Tua Tagovailoa actually play this season? The oft-injured quarterback that I thought the Dolphins should have never drafted. How does the season end, Cleveland? Cleveland, you want to put a high-low? Eric said he's going to play 7 games. What's your you will go over or under on that? 7 games.
I'll go over on the 7.
I should have jumped all over Eric on that. So you go over on a 7. I go over on a 7. I go over on a 7 as well. I mean, what did he say? Over under 13 games. That's 2/3 of the season.
That's under 13.
Under 13? He says he doesn't play 13 games. Woo, so you got him sitting out at least 4 games this year?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's not going to be that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good. So what are you asking? Why I got 3 points for KC and 4 points for Jacksonville? Again, these are confidence picks, Ninja. This is confidence picks. So who's Jacksonville playing? Jacksonville's playing the Colts.
So he's saying it's garbage. That's what he's saying.
Jacksonville's playing the Colts. The Colts will not beat Jacksonville. Period. Okay. The KC, again, if you listen to the show, Ninja, I said it at the top. I said it at the top when we started the pick segment. I was tempted to take the Lions. in that one. So, although I think Kansas City is going to win, that maybe could have been a 1. I was tempted to take the Lions, but Green Bay is the one. That's going to be a closer game. Although I have Green Bay winning, that's a closer game against the Bears. Seahawks, again, I should put up. Seahawks could be number 4. To your point, I could put 4 points on that because I believe the Seahawks is going to win by 20 plus points. Seahawks could be number 4, but it is what it is. It's how I shook it out. It's exactly how I shook it out. So your boy Cleveland gave Jacksonville 4 too. So, I mean, what's your complaint there, Ninja? But that helps you. I appreciate the question because you see you're thinking about. You're seeing how we rate these games, and you see how we pick this game. Just follow along, big guy. I do this, Ninja. 70% winning percentage, Ninja. You can't argue greatness, buddy. You can't argue greatness. You will put 75% every time. Plus 11 games. 11 games. I'm hoping he misses 2 games, maybe. Like I need to. Not saying that number will be 15. I needed to be closer to 15. I needed it close under 15. The Lions aren't winning. Yeah, it's easy money. You're right. It's easy money. Playing against Cleveland is easy money. It's an easy elbow. You're right. Most of the time, it's easy elbow. Cleveland got me on the bet with what did I say? DK Metcalf wasn't going to catch. What did I say? He wasn't going to catch 40 passes. He caught 47 passes. That cost me a pretty penny. That one there cost me a pretty penny.
And how about the the Ivers meals? Fans, he forgets all about these things until it's too late. When he has to recant what's going on here. But first things first, we already got it started. Jets not making the playoffs. Ooh.
What'd you say? What?
You said the Jets won't make the playoffs. Easy money.
I mean, I got a lot of these. Cleveland I could pull up. Did Kyle Pitts make the? Did Kyle Pitts make the? What you call it?
He most certainly did not make the Pro Bowl.
Did Chris Carson gain 150 yards? I mean, come on. I got a lot of these I can pull up.
Well, I mean, if you're going 17, 18 years back, I mean, that's fine. I'm just talking about this season. I'm talking about present day type stuff, man.
Right there. Is that what you wanted to see? Is that the one you want to see right there? Right there on the screen for you.
Oh, yeah. We'll start with that.
Yeah, let me get this one.
Take that off. I didn't say anything even remotely like that.
I mean, I can't find this other one. I got so much up here.
I never said the Chargers were going to go 11-6 and win the West. That must be something you said. If you want to stick with that, I mean, we can talk about that, chit chat about it. But hey, man,
no,
I said nothing of the sort.
I mean, if it only goes on here. It only goes on here if it's been uttered. Here, I think it did.
2 years ago. Yeah, if you don't. Okay, man. You need to erase all of the old nonsense, man. We're going with what's going on right now. Right now, we just have the one wager. It will, increase, accelerate.
Yeah, I didn't like DK either. I did not like DK either, and I didn't expect DK to be solid. And yeah, it cost me. That one cost me. That one did cost me. That one cost a pretty nugget at a pretty fancy establishment too, fans. So you guys have heard my top stories, Cleveland. Did I miss it? You got a top story that I missed? You got something that we need to add to the list?
Top story that you're missing. Yeah.
I mean, what do you? You got to talk. What's your top story? I gave you mine.
I think a top story would be Mike Tomlin again not having a losing season and Belichick not making the playoffs for the third consecutive year.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Because both of those things are going to happen. Mike Tomlin will not have a losing season, and Belichick will not make the playoffs for his third consecutive year without Tom Brady.
You guys is really holding my man to the fire on this one. Bill Belichick will not make the playoffs, and I would argue it if I could, but that division is so tight.
Because you and Bill are like this, we all know. You get one of the few people that can get Bill to, I mean, really, engage. Have a conversation. I was tripping.
How about that? I don't know if you guys seen that, but post game, Bill actually talked. I got Bill to actually talk.
Fans, Bill actually talked to this dude. Not like, he actually turned around, looked at him, and had a conversation. It was weird.
It wasn't off to Cincinnati. It wasn't we're off to Cincinnati.
It was a conversation. It was so weird. You don't talk to nobody. Talk to him.
Yeah, that was pretty dope though. That was pretty dope. Top story. Rookie of the year? Come on, Ninja. rookie of the year with Bijan Robinson down there, and he's gonna get 350 carries. Ninja, come on. If he were to be rookie of the year, they would make the playoffs, but he's not. You're going pretty deep right there. You're going pretty deep. Man, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, Ninja. Appreciate you for tuning in every week, being a part of the show. Cleveland, what else you got? What else you got for? You gave me 2. Tomlin not having a losing season. Bill Belichick not making the playoffs. Is that it?
Another storyline is how the Jonathan Taylor sequence of events is going to play itself out.
I mean, you think he's gonna? Okay, I mean, good question here. Do you think he'll finish the season with the? You don't see a lot of.
You don't see that happen a lot, but it happens every once in a while, every now and again.
Do you expect him? I mean, it's again just because it doesn't happen very often. I expect him to finish the season with the Colts. I mean, on the field, I should say.
As far as storylines that you haven't addressed already, I think you got to all of them. The only other one I would think, the one storyline that I am kind of curious about is to see if Chase Young was a bust or not.
Ooh, and that was your guy coming out.
I know.
That was your guy.
Without question. I thought he was going to be that dude.
He's just been injured, right?
I'm sorry?
He's just been hurt. He had the one season. His rookie year was his best year, right?
This is his 4th season, bro.
That's what I'm saying. His rookie season was his best year. Last year was kind of injured. He's been kind of injured most of last year. The year before that, it was kind of up and down, right?
Injury, man. We'll see what he has, but we'll see if he is who he said he was, man.
Can Chase Young live up to the hype? That was That was your guy coming out of college too. He was all over that guy. So that's a good one. SB, yeah, we did an over under. One of our NFL insiders said Tua was the last 7 games. Cleveland and I both agree that that's going to be over. Ninja said he's going to last 11 games. Cleveland, what did you give him? What did you say? 13 games?
On the 11?
No, on Tua. On Tua last, and you said he's gonna last. He's gonna miss 4 games, I believe. You said.
Oh, at least.
Yeah. I need that number to be 15. If he stays healthy for 15 and misses 2 games, Tua, I'm allowing you 2 games, Tua. Other than that, we might put him in the bust category. He might have to be put in the bust category. So that was a good one. Chase Young. What else you got, Cleveland? We all agree Bijan is going to be a stud in the league. Any intrepidation on that? Again, he's going to get the opportunities, so it's not going to be anything.
Yeah, my last one is the Philadelphia experiment with that defense. I'm curious to see if Jalen Carter is. Oh man, he was. A problem child, or if it's like, ooh, he's a man child.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that was an argument we had in the offseason. Cleveland says the rookies, you said specifically, I think how you put it, if he's that dude, he's that dude. He doesn't need mentors. That's what you said, right? And that was your words. And I told you totally against that. You got me hot that day, Cleveland. You had me heated that day, saying that the NFL players do not need mentors. The young boy, don't get me started. Don't get me started. I went from the got NBA players who clearly need mentors in the NBA because the NBA is full of young cats. They need mentors. Oh, you can't go. You're talking about a different league. You're talking about some other players. Dude, the same rules apply. These young cats need mentors. So, yes, the Eagles experiment, can Jalen Carter, how does he survive in that environment versus going to a team like the Washington, whatever you want to call them, What do you? I mean, the whatever they're called, that franchise,
the Commanders. Yes,
like Chase Young went. He was the only guy there, and we're questioning whether he's a bust or not.
What I'm questioning is that whether drafting all Georgia Bulldogs and putting them all on your defense starting is a good thing. Secondly, you had someone that was supposed to be at one point the number 1 pick in the draft fall the year at 10. So is he going to be that impactful or no?
What do you mean? Are you questioning that for real?
I'm questioning whether he's going to have the impact as if he was a number 1 pick, adverse just kind of being a contributor to that defense. And also that defense has all Georgia Bulldogs from the last 2 seasons on it starting. I'm curious to see what that experiment looks like.
So you got 3 things. The Eagles experiment, you're saying, will Jalen Carter have an impact? And then you're saying, will the impact of picking all Georgia Bulldogs or Holland? I mean, they picked all the top picks was Georgia Bulldogs. Will that have an impact? Right, that's what you're saying, right? So will Jalen Carter have an impact, and how does picking all Bulldogs? Now, I'm not really. We don't see that too often, so it's curious. It'll be curious to see. But I got them winning the Super Bowl, so obviously I think it's going to work out. But I don't see that as an issue. Like, I don't see. They're good players. You're a good player. You're a good player, regardless of where you come from. Like, I expect. You could say kind of the same thing about the Houston Texans, about their draft, where they get the quarterback, who I'm really not high on the quarterback, but you draft a quarterback number 1, and then you trade up and you ride around and make the machinations to get Will Anderson, at 2 or 3. Like, we don't see that too often.
At number 3, CJ Stroud went. I'm sorry, Bryce Young went 1, CJ Stroud went 2, Will Anderson went 3.
But we don't see that. I mean, when's the last time we saw that a team takes number 1 and then makes a move to take number 3? Like, I'm curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah, but that's not the same team. I mean, these
guys
are drafted. Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying in the same. I don't know. I'm kind of I'm more curious to see how that works out versus the guys being from the same team. Like, they were national champions, back-to-back national champions.
Back-to-back national champions. And
so clearly they're good players.
Players from that defense on your team.
I mean,
you flooded your team with Georgia Bulldogs. That you're assuming that productivity will translate to the next level. I'm curious to see it too.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not. Hey, man, Ninja, share the word, man. Hit the like button. Leave that comment on YouTube. Because how are you watching, Ninja? How are you watching the show? Are you on HB Media? Or are you on Voice of the Fans at YouTube? Either one. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Leave that comment in the page for us, please. I appreciate that. Thanks for chiming in. We appreciate having you in here. We appreciate you having here all the time. Are the Ravens getting slept on?
Interesting.
No, we got the Ravens. If you were with us earlier, SB, we both had the Ravens winning their division.
No. I had Cincinnati winning their division.
No, I got you listed right here. I got you listed right here. You see, fans.
I never said the Ravens were going to win that division. Never ever.
Fans, this is what we go through right here.
Never ever. I never said that.
He makes a comment. I log it. Again, you guys see how impeccable my notes are. You guys see how impeccable my notes are, right? You guys see. And where did it say boom, boom, boom? Right there. I mentioned it earlier. We agree on the Ravens. So you're saying you got the Bengals? Excuse me. I take that back. To your point. We both have the Ravens in the playoffs. The Ravens aren't being slept on. The Ravens are in the playoffs. You correct that. We both have the Bengals winning that.
You have some little corny caveat if Burrow's healthy. Wow.
We can. I can erase it. I can erase it.
Yeah, why don't you erase that?
That is what I said till you got on me. That I had to erase that.
Wow.
That is what I mean. Appreciate you, Ninja.
Say that about a whole bunch of people, Cam.
Go ahead. I had to erase that. See, I had to correct it. But fans, I got impeccable stats. If you don't see it's right there, I got the stats for you. We got documentation for you. We can go back in it. I got the I can pull up the voice of the fans episodes on YouTube, and we can go back and do our forensic investigations when we need to. Okay. So Cleveland can't. He's gonna have to cut it out with the Cam making stuff up because I got facts to back me up. Okay.
Of course, the fans on YouTube, good looking, bro.
If Cleveland said that he meant it, oh my goodness. Come on, man. I tell you what, boy. Wait till that picture of you two at the bar gets exposed. Wait till that picture gets exposed. It's gonna be all over Twitter X. Wait till that picture gets exposed. Because I'm saying there's something going on there. So that's a good comment. The Eagles experiment. Will Jalen Carter have an impact? I believe
back
it will.
to the Ravens, man. I don't know what to think about them, man. I'm not so sold on their defense. I'm not so sold on this pass-happy Lamar Jackson offense. I'm not so sold on Odell Beckham Jr. coming out of damn near retirement, trying to resurrect this offense, man.
But you got to make in the playoffs, so you can't be that down on them. You can't be that down on them.
I'm not that down on them, man. I'm just like
their defense is. I mean, I like Harbaugh as a coach, so I expect the defense to be above average. Okay. Is it going to be in the top 5-6 defenses how it has been in the recent years? I don't expect that. But because, I mean, you're talking about Tomlin's playoff record. Harbaugh has to have a playoff record pretty similar of not missing the playoffs.
He hasn't losing seasons.
I had to go fact check that one, but he's also won a Super Bowl in more recent years, right? Since the Steelers,
maybe
Flacco won
maybe 3 or 4 years.
I mean, that was Flacco won it since the Steelers won it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, his record has to be close. He has to be close. Yeah, see? Yeah. He's trying to get pictures of Cleveland and all that.
See, now he gave you your props, man.
Almost everything. This guy. Ravens. So the Ravens D isn't going to be what it is. You're not happy. You're not sold on Lamar. Some people have Lamar for MVP. I'm not ready to say that. I can't go MVP.
I'm not sold on changing your offense to a pass first offense when he's never shown the ability to really do that. And so
he hasn't had weapons, though, Cleveland. He hasn't had weapons.
I'm wondering. I'm not sold. Are you sold that with all these weapons now he's going to be a throw? Like he's just going to be
him coming out saying he's going to pass for 6,000. He's him coming out saying he's going to pass for 6,000 yards. Am I sold on? Am I sold on that?
30 touchdowns? Is he giving 30 touchdowns? Throwing the ball.
I wouldn't count on it because if you 30 touchdowns, you're going to have 5 to 7 inside the 10-yard line. And you get the Baltimore Ravens offense inside the 10-yard line, his running game becomes such more of a threat than his passing game. Like he's going to run in for.
You just don't believe in his passing ability.
No. Listen to what I'm saying, though. Listen to what I'm saying. For him to have 30 touchdowns in a season, now that I mean, very possible now that the season is extended to 17 games. Because if it was just 15 games, that's two a game. That's doable. But what I'm saying is 5 to 7 of those touchdowns would have to be inside the 10-yard line. And once they get inside the 10-yard line, he could hit Andrews. But I have more confidence than I believe most of you guys would that his running ability becomes more of a threat, more of a focal point inside that 10-yard line, inside that red zone, his running ability. So I could see him having those 5 to 7 passing touchdowns. 4 of those are going to be running touchdowns. So I could see him ending up with 25 passing touchdowns. What was the most passing touchdown he had? He's probably had 21, something like that. I'm not looking at it.
I have no idea. I've just seen him throw the football, and I've never been impressed.
Who has he been throwing to? Name the targets. Name the receivers you've been excited about for.
I haven't
Baltimore
been excited
Ravens.
about any of the receivers.
That's not true. Bateman, you was excited about Bateman. You was excited about Bateman. Richard, you was excited about Bateman.
Hollywood Brown was your guy. I
was excited about her. I thought that would work out.
Yeah.
But let me know. Just let me know the receivers you were excited about that Lamar Jackson was throwing to. Just let me know. Tell me what receivers you were excited about in his career about him throwing to.
That's a valid point. He hasn't had a lot of weapons to throw to this year. He has more. I'm still not convinced that that's what he's good at. I think that it will mask some of the faults that he's had in the past, but I don't know if it's good enough to really. I mean, we'll see. Interesting.
So in the year he won the MVP, he had 36 touchdowns, but some of that was running, and he had 26 in the next year. Again, I'm sure a lot of those were running. Let me see if I can identify.
And it's not really the receivers, Cam. It's the throwing style. You know, it's just
he's not Dan Marino. Don't get it twisted. I'm not arguing him with Dan Marino. Yeah, and that's my point. That he's only had a couple guys. Hollywood Brown, he didn't really have a huge connection with, so he hasn't had he didn't have the talent out there. Now he has talent though. Now he has talent. Everybody wants to tell me everybody's hanging on this Odell Beckham. Zay Flowers, I think, is a real deal. I think Zay Flowers. Who else is out there? He has another guy out there.
Still got Bateman out there. He's still there.
Okay, Bateman has an opportunity now that the pressure's not on one guy. Now he has a couple of other guys. I don't know what Odell might be a possession receiver at this point. Like if he's getting first downs, they'll be happy with the Odell getting first downs. You know, just run to the sticks, get open, let me hit you. Can that work? We'll see. We'll see. This is he has talent this year, and we'll see how that works out. But yeah, the Ravens offense, how will this work out? So we got a lot of good things to look at this season, fans. I gave you 5. Cleveland, I pressed him. He came up with 6 ideas. Ravens offense, how will this transpire? So this is going to be a great season for you football fans. I'm telling you, football is always great, but we just gave you how will the Ravens offense transpire, the Eagles experiment. Can Chase Young, live up to the hype? The Jonathan Taylor saga is another one. Cleveland with his hating ass is going to tell us Bill Belichick will not make the playoffs. Well, he won't make the playoffs. That's not a lie. But Cleveland's going to hark on, he hasn't done it without Tom Brady. This is year 3 without Tom Brady. Man, he's already established. He's already established as a GOAT. All right. Who's on his team now doesn't really matter. He's already established. Tomlin not having a losing season. I mean, that's a factor of that weak division he's been playing in. I gave you again the Chiefs repeat. Again, that's something Cleveland has a Chief repeating. Do the Eagles avoid their Super Bowl hangover? How will the Chargers rebound from their horrible playoff loss? Like, that's huge. Like, right out the gate, they welcome the Dolphins in. So that's a really, again, as I mentioned, that's going to be the game. That's potentially the game of the day.
Must win to establish identity and culture. They don't win that one, the season's just going to spiral out of control.
Oof. I mean, hey, that's a big. You can say that for both teams, but at least the Dolphins are on the road to Cleveland's. Again, who did you pick in that game? Who'd you pick? You picked the Chargers. You picked the Chargers because I was going to go against your theory there. Again, the biggest thing of the season. How many games did Tua play? How many? That's huge. That's even bigger than Aaron Rodgers signing because we already know. I'm telling you, fans, right now, all of you guys who are listening, the Jets do not make the playoffs. Bank on it. Jets do not make the playoffs. Bank on it. So that's not even a factor. Just toss the Jets aside. Don't pay no attention to them. Okay, don't pay them no mind. But you got to look at the AFC East still because you have the Dolphins and the Bills in this division, and you got to look at to see it's critical. How many games did Tua play this season? That's critical. That's critical. Oh my goodness. Oh my me. I could do a whole show on that alone. I don't know when you start watching football. I don't know if you watched the.
You had to watch it for too long, Cam. You just had to step in.
Somebody picked Brady. The NFL passed up on Brady 6 times. Somebody actually did pick that guy. All right, somebody did pick that guy. Somebody actually had to make the call once Drew Bledsoe went down. He thought he was a running back and got ran over by Mo Lewis. Somebody actually made the call. Let's go with the rookie. And once 6 weeks later, when Drew Bledsoe was healthy going into the playoffs, somebody made the call. No, we're going to stay with the young guy. Somebody actually made that call. Fans don't want to recognize that. So fans don't want to hear that. Somebody actually made that call. That was the head coach of the New England Patriots. Am I right? Quite possibly the greatest defensive coach in the greatest defensive mind in all of NFL football. What's that?
Since he kicked Tom Brady out the door, have they made the playoffs?
I mean, come on. The team is different.
They sure are. Because Tom Brady's not on the team.
It's a different team. It's a different team. There are different players on the team.
Tom Brady's no longer there.
I could do a whole show just to educate you non-football fans on why Bill Belichick is a GOAT.
And Cam, you want to know why you don't have to do that? Because he hasn't won a playoff game since Tom Brady left. So you don't have to go through all that long exercise you were about to do. It's unnecessary.
Fans, thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is week 256 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. The NFL starts tomorrow, fans. That's why we're so hyped up, so animated over here. I should have some music for you because we get NFL action tomorrow. We get it tomorrow, fans. If you guys don't know, we get NFL action tomorrow. Cleveland, you want to jump into this NBA topics or you want to take a quick break?
Quick break, 45 sec. I'll be right back to talk about some good news, Cam. Yeah.
Oh man, listen to him. He's already excited about it.
If you want to get the NBA, you have some good news on the horizon. So yeah.
Let's take a quick break.
Right back.
Who am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name
Cameron.
is Cam Buford.
We got some good questions today.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
There's always room for improvement.
This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
As a competitor, how much does that competitive spirit get in there and say, I want to fight this guy. I want to get some of this guy.
Of course I want to fight all the guys. Of course that. But at the same time, like I keep telling you, it's a business.
Talk about that loyalty for a moment.
I'm staying there to try to make a change. Give back to the youth, give back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. Only thing is you just got to be dedicated. You got to keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
Think about it like this. The promoter pays the fighter. The fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter. And the fighter works
for the promoter. Okay.
If you can see, you can believe.
So you are lifting weights currently?
No, it's not like that.
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show voice of the fan,
Oh my goodness
continues
gracious.
to
I'm in
evolve.
tears.
Come on, you were adding some spice to it.
It is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
The real ones know what's going on, right?
Like you said, Pacific Northwest. So I think it's a big part of my game. And every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy for the whole
Nobody.
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
Oh, this guy.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's Big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sports. Hey, man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do.
No disrespect intended, Ninja. No disrespect intended, but I just have to educate some of the football fans because, again, I can do a whole show on that Brady versus Belichick saga. I could do a whole show on that. But that was last segment. We'll come back to that around. We'll come back to that again because I'm sure Cleveland's not going to let up this season. Should Bill Belichick and the Patriots be – they're going to be fighting with the Jets for the last in the division. They're going to be fighting with the Jets for that third and fourth place. So, and I will give the Jets a nod. The Jets do have more talent on their team. They do have Rodgers. They got Dalvin Cook. They got Gabe, the receiver. What's it? Gabe Vincent
Garrett
Miller.
Wilson,
Garrett Wilson. Whoever.
Sauce Gardner.
Whoever.
Yeah.
Quinn.
Yeah.
We'll
have to go down the whole roster for the AFC.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad for them guys if they don't make the playoffs. It's gonna be bad. All them all-stars that you're rattling off. It's gonna be bad.
I know it. Should that happen?
So your boy Rich Paul. I gotta get Rich Paul, man. I gotta find a way to link up with Rich Paul because he likes to talk. And all that he said, I know you heard what he said that LeBron has platinum antlers, Jordan has gold antlers. I know you heard that, right?
No, but I mean, it's early, Cam. I don't really listen to that kind of stuff. We're getting geared up for the NFL season. We're not even in training camp yet. So, platinum, gold antlers.
Hey, that's your guy. He's defending your guy. So it was worth. He had on your boy Gilbert Arenas podcast. He had a lot to say and dropping a lot of knowledge actually. But then when he's a LeBron guy, so of course he's going to say that. Yeah, so of course he's going to say LeBron is a GOAT. But they found another way to get LeBron some more help. Mm-hmm. They got Jackson Hayes there. Now they got Christian Woods on the team. Now Christian Woods went from Detroit to Houston, or did he go Houston, Detroit? I think it was Houston, Detroit.
No, Detroit, Houston.
Detroit, Houston, and then the Mavericks. He was just a disappointment. He was a disappointment in Houston, in Dallas. Now watch him be borderline all-star with the Lakers. Watch him he's going to rise to borderline all-star with the Lakers. Watch this. I mean, he's a supremely talented dude. 6'10". Can block shots. Had a little bit jumper he was showing us in Houston, so he can score around the rim. Watch him. And this is part of LeBron's greatness, is he is a good teammate in the sense that he's an all-inclusive guy, and he does make the guys around him better. Mm-hmm. He gets the best out of the guys around him. I'll say that, whether that's better or not. He gets all he can out of most play. He gets all he can out of most guys that he plays with, and so that's what I'm saying. Christian Woods, I already like Jackson Hayes. I already like Jackson Hayes, who was just young. But Christian Woods, he's going to be borderline all-star with the Lakers. So, I know that's what you were drooling about earlier. So, good move there. You guys get somebody to help out Street Clothes so Street Clothes can play, outside and, do his thing on the perimeter. It could be be your version of Karl Anthony Towns, but just play outside. Don't go into the paint. And that's what you get Christian Wood for. So we'll see how that works out. Do both Harden and Lillard start the season with their respective teams? It's kind of looking like that. I mean,
definitely Lillard. Harden, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was a good lot of knowledge with some BS in there. Yes, he had a little BS sprinkled in there, but I mean, it was some good stuff though. It was worth a listen. I was impressed. Rich Paul's a cool dude. His growth, and he talked a lot about that. And you got to respect the guy who takes that opportunity. When he said he was making 48 grand. I'm not sure if I believe that in total, but he said he was making 48 grand and working for LeBron the first couple of years until he built up his empire. I mean, you got to respect that. You got to respect that if that's truly the case. But just being in the room, being in the environment, a lot of guys don't know how to take advantage of that opportunity being in that environment, i.e. the Mike Vick crowd. No way Mike Vick should have went away for any time. He shouldn't have did any time, let alone a year, because those guys around him just didn't step up and maximize their opportunity with the face of the NFL that they're hanging out with every night. You know what I'm saying? Never mind what they were doing. Just they're kicking it with the face of the NFL, and I wonder what those guys have to show for to this day, other than pictures and some gear that they had, some gear that they probably can't fit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Rich Paul talked about, how he took that opportunity, just being around LeBron, and now he's the best agent in the game, right? Or arguably the best agent in the game. So. It's about that opportunity. He spoke up about that, and it was pretty impressive. Luka and Dylan Brooks get ejected from a FIBA game. Did you notice that? And are we tired of Luka's whining yet? Like Luka whining after every call. Luka admitted himself he has to grow up. He can't seem to get away from arguing with the refs. Like, okay, dude, now if you know that, like G.I. Joe used to say, no one's half the battle, right? Now, if you know that, you can't keep doing that, right?
I know he's going to be a whiner or a complainer. That's just who he is. It's just part of his nature and his makeup. It just, just need less things to whine about, and championships typically help with that.
I mean, you just don't go from a champion, though.
Well, I mean, that's the unfortunate part, is that he's never going to win a championship. So it's just hard, it's hard to really get past that.
I mean, he isn't the only one. Isn't the only one complaining about every call. No, but like every single call, Ninja, every single call that goes against you. I mean, some of the calls you'd be like, yeah, okay, and come back and do better the next time. But now we're and it's understandable first 1, 2, 3, 4 years, but where are we at? We're at year 6 now, right? Like 6 or 7.
I think we're going into 5.
We're in 5. So the first 3 years, now we're at year 5, and it's still going on. Now it's going on even in a FIBA game. Like, dog, come on, now you're doing too much. You're doing too much getting ejected from FIBA games. Team USA, they rebound from their loss against Lithuania. And turned out, I think that was probably a good loss for them. What you guys think?
A little bit of a wake-up call. I mean, that
exactly.
certainly helps.
Yeah, I think it was a good loss for them. Wake them up, make them focus, because they win the next game by 43. I think I turned it on. They were up 50, actually, and it came down. I'm with you right there. LeBron literally complains every time, but obviously he's expected to get every call. He expects to get every single call. But yes, and he lets the refs know when he doesn't get those calls. So you're a good point there, Ninja. So this Friday morning, I think 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, Cleveland, you getting up to watch USA versus Germany, and I think the early game though is Canada versus Serbia. So,
I might be up for that. I might be watching the the tennis match, perhaps. Might be watching Djokovic, Shelton.
Oh, you making a prediction already? Shelton's going to get there.
No, Shelton's there. Shelton's playing. Shelton beat Tiafoe yesterday, so he's playing Djokovic.
Oh, okay. We're gonna get into that a little bit. So, USA it looks like Canada is going to beat Serbia, and so far, if Canada were to win this, it's going to be Shea Gilgeous-Alexander winning the MVP. It's going to be. I'm looking forward to USA versus Canada. Hopefully, they both make it there to make this a real good competition.
That's a good game.
Yeah. Cleveland claims he was a tennis player. I haven't seen no footage of him playing, but he claims he was a tennis player.
I'll go get my racket right there and show the whole fans you need to see it.
I mean, it's in arm reach. It happens to be in arm reach.
Would you like me to go get the Djokovic racket, or?
I mean, that's on you. That's on you. I'm just saying, I ain't seen no footage of him out there hitting the ball. That's all I could say, and that I wouldn't be lying. So, fans, each and every week we not only do we play. Look at him. Look, he's fired up. He had to go get the tennis racket. Now, should you be out there swinging a racket with that replaced hip? Should you be out there?
Perfectly fine, Cam. That was part of the rehab.
Now don't show the fans a racket with holes all with the nets all loose, holes all in the net. Don't show us no beat up racket from the high school.
Oh, and this is the one that Novak uses, fans, just in case you were wondering. Same one.
Oh, listen, it looked like a paddle ball racket to me.
Did it?
It looked like
that's because you're not very well versed with the tennis.
That looked like a paddle ball racket.
That's part of the problem. That's why I'm here to help, Cam. So I'm here to help.
So, fans, each and every week, not only we play our number game and give you a quote at the end of the show, we talk about this week in history, just some things that happened in primarily American history. Yeah, that was a paddle ball racket, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, Ninja.
So elementary school, what is this? Orville Fabus in, when is this? September 4, 1957. Orville, famous governor of Arkansas, called for National Guards to prevent African American students from enrolling at Central High School in Arkansas. And that was 1957. September 8th, 1986, Oprah Winfrey TV show debuted nationwide, making the host the first African-American woman to host a nationally syndicated television show. And only 86. It seemed like that. Well, I mean, 86 was a long time ago. It seemed like it was on before 86. But again, September 5th, 1985, rioting in South Africa, spilled into white neighborhoods for the first time. That's why it became news, because it spilled into the white neighborhoods. September 7, 1986, Bishop Desmond Tutu became the first black man to lead Angolan church in South Africa. September 9, 1957, September 7, 1996, Tupac Shakur shot for the second time in Las Vegas, where he would later die of the injuries. Appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for tuning in. We love to have you every time, man.
Love to have you, big man.
Hit that like button. September 6, 1960, Rayford Johnson became the first African-American to win the Olympics decathlon. And September 8, 2001, Venus and Serena Williams compete for the first and second place in the finals of the US Open, making the occasion the first time African Americans had competed against each other in the Grand Slam final. Pretty interesting there. Cleveland. Now, I'm not a big college football fan, but this was a big college football weekend. What was the biggest win for you? FSU beating who they beat? LSU. Duke beating South Carolina.
Duke beating Clemson or Colorado beating TCU. That would be Colorado beating TCU was the biggest game of the week.
What, you don't want to talk about Oregon putting up 80 points?
No.
What about the Huskies? The Huskies had a big win too. Huskies,
they beat Boise State. That was a good game.
With Colorado beating
TCU.
At TCU. Yeah, I had Deion Sanders leading Colorado to a win. Too early to believe they could make the college football playoffs?
Yes.
What was the most impressive thing about that win? Was it Shedeur Sanders going 80% with 4 touchdowns, 80% passing, 4 touchdowns, over 40 passes thrown, no interceptions? Was it your guy going Hunter playing 120 snaps in the heat of Texas?
Yes. It was Champ Bailey 2.0. That was amazing to watch. Have not seen that in 20 plus years. Somebody playing every single snap. And not only did he play every snap, he had a touchdown, he had an interception. I mean, he was clearly dominant on both sides of the ball.
Well, okay, I don't want to say dominant on both sides of the ball. He played really good on defense, but he made every big play.
Catching a touchdown.
No, he made every play on offense that they needed. He made every play on. He made every play. Cleveland, why didn't TCU go at him, run at him every single play?
Why didn't they run at him? That I can't say because we don't really know how he tackles. Right? That's a very good point. We don't.
They should have been running at him every play. Yeah. I only turned it on in the fourth quarter, so it was. I mean, what was 27-24 or something like that at the fourth quarter?
It was a real seesaw back and forth game. So
yeah, I mean, from what I saw, I just turned it on in the fourth quarter. But my thing was, okay, if this dude is playing both sides of the ball, we need to be running at him. We need to be throwing his way, like every time.
Not necessarily throwing his way, because that wasn't a good idea. That was made visibly.
Well, he made the tremendous. It was a tremendous play that he made at the goal line. That was a tremendous play, but it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't like Terrell Buckley picked it off and ran the other way. You know,
there were a few other plays. I mean, I'm not trying to toot his horn that tough, but there was a few other plays that were like, okay, you really don't want to throw that dude's way if you don't have to. But certainly running his direction, you make a good point. I didn't see that.
I'm
not quite sure I saw that one time.
No, there's some SB hit you up right there.
Good looking.
But no, that's the first thing I noticed. Okay, if this dude is on the field for every single snap, you're gonna have to tackle somebody, big guy, or not big guy, little guy. You're gonna have to tackle somebody.
Yeah.
And TCU did not run his way. They threw one third down pass that went his way from the time I was watching. But I certainly would have ran. I certainly would have ran right at him. You gonna make you really step up and play. Do you surprised at the reactions? I was surprised, man. It was I didn't really pay a whole lot of Deion talk a lot of crap. He's gonna frustrate a lot of people. So people are gonna come at him from different angles, because they don't want to hear the brash, smack talking guy. I get it. I get that. But even after the game, I was surprised by how some of us was calling him. I text you some of the words I was hearing. I was surprised by that. I was blown away. House dude, field dude, like
I mean,
he was code switching. Like, come on, guys, this dude is not doing anything he hasn't done when he played the game. He played the game like this. So are we expecting him to be are you expecting him to be Tim Duncan all of a sudden from the sidelines? Like this is
I think it was the unceremonious way that he left the HBCU because his original premise when coming there was he was going to bring the HBCU schools to prominence, and he lightweight did that. And then once he lightweight did that, he jetted. So there's still a little bit of animosity with regards to that. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to get into the back and forth as to why we're good or bad or anything. So that's
just tell me, help me out. Help me out. Did ESPN go to Jackson State and televise the Jackson State game?
Last year?
Last year with Dion there at the HBCU. Did they do that? Huh?
Yeah.
Do you remember? What was the last time ESPN went to an HBCU game, Cleveland, that you recall? You're a sports. Would you like to say call yourself all knower of sports, all things sports? What's your tagline you like to say?
Self-proclaimed expert on all things sports related. Yes.
Okay, so is HBCU football is that sports related?
HBCU football is sports related. Yes.
So do you recall seeing ESPN
we're having two separate conversations here.
No. The question is, do you, from your extensive knowledge of sports, do you recall ESPN going to an HBCU game prior to Deion Sanders being there?
No.
So that's not a separate conversation. That's saying there was prominence brought to HBCU, correct?
Okay. And once he shed a little bit of light on it, those in that community felt like he abandoned them for greener pastures at Colorado. So that's kind of where the animosity starts. I'm not saying it's warranted. I'm not saying anything of the, of that nature. I'm just saying that's kind of where it stems from, I think at least. And a lot of people were waiting to see him fail miserably because he is so boisterous and outgoing and demonstrative with his personality. It just didn't happen that way. 21-point underdogs won the game outright. So,
I mean, damn, that would have been a good day in Vegas, right? That'd have been a good night in Vegas.
That would have been a kick your feet up about 5 minutes left. There's no way they're not going to cover the 21. So.
Man. Yeah. So I mean, the internal. When I say internal, I'm speaking from the slings. I know certain people of the Caucasian persuasion is going to attack him. Right? They're going to attack him for his boisterousness, for his braggadocious style. But if you know sports, if you know football, if you know Deion Sanders, like it's been that way since the 80s. Right? It's been that way since he's been at FSU. And he's not the only kid from Florida with that swag, with that style, with that brashness, right? So you kind of got to put that aside. That's what you're getting from that persona, that profile player, right? That's what you're going to get. That's what nothing has changed since he's been a coach. From coaching Little League football at Prime U, when things didn't probably go as well as they should have, it was been that same style from when he was went to high school and when he went to Jackson State. Like I don't understand like now how they expect something different in just my thinking about it. And then some of us, some of our color folk, like you mentioned that their frustration with him not carrying out some of their dreams of staying at the HBCU and working through it and bringing more prominence to them. I mean, there's still yesterday on the or Saturday on the podium, Shedeur Sanders was still saying, I was in the SWAC class last year. I played in the SWAC. This is what SWAC players can do. This is, it was no difference. One of his quotes. Now I would have followed up on that had I been in that press conference. I would have followed up on it when he says, the guy asked him, how do you feel? Which is a dumb question. How do you feel about winning with your dad on the sideline? Absolutely stupid question. But he says it's no different than what I did at Jackson State. You follow up and say, okay, what is that difference from playing at Colorado, playing TCU, then playing at Jackson State? Tell me that difference other than 60,000 people screaming at you. Let me know what that difference is. That's what I would have wanted to know. But I don't know. The sellout, the coon, is he code switching? All of this questioning his motivation. Like he brought in, out of the 86 players he turned over the league, what of them? 80 of them were black. Like, so is he still not giving back to the community? Is he still not helping out these kids? I mean, everybody you talk to, we've heard from, saying that Deion Sanders is like a father figure or a brother figure, right? So what's the complaint? I just don't understand what the complaint is about him leaving HBCU to go to Colorado to better himself and get a better opportunity, a higher payer opportunity, a more high profile position. I don't understand the argument. So I could be lost. It could be me. It could be me. You know, maybe my blackness isn't like everybody else's. It could be me. I don't get it. But is it too early? Like, do we have to establish a Heisman Trophy race? Has that conversation now every week? Because what Shedeur Sanders did, like, that was Heisman Trophy worthy. Now, the kid, Cleveland, you said you watched the whole game. Like, his poise and his accuracy was, come on, dog. He threw it 43 times, I think. 80% completion rate, 0 interceptions. And I didn't see a pass that, oftentimes you see, especially in college football, you see a pass that maybe should have been intercepted that wasn't. Maybe the defender, excuse me, okay, I did see, now that I'm thinking about it, one pass, which the guy, it was actually they called pass interference. But if that defender from TCU gets his head around faster, he could have picked it off and went the other way. But he didn't get his head around, and by the time he got his head around, he pushed off on the receiver. That was the one play that I saw, okay, maybe that should have been a pick. Other than that one play in 42 plays, 43 passing plays, everything else was cool, poised, accurate. Like, that was amazing. That was amazing. And there were some drop balls that should have been caught too. So that 80% could have went to 83, 84% easily, because again, he had some drop passes that he put on the money. And then your guy Caleb Williams in at USC. So we talk about Sanders, Caleb Williams, and then Hunter playing 120 snaps a game. If he keeps doing that, oh my goodness. If he's able to do that in Colorado, when it's 50 degrees, now you want to play every down. If he's able to play that, I mean, I don't know why offensive coordinators, they better start going at him. Like, they better start running the ball towards his way, running sweeps, pass plays right at him, like send the tight end right at him. Like, they better start doing that. But yeah, he's going to be in the Heisman race. Who else you got in the Heisman race?
Still early, Cam's the first game of the season. The North Carolina quarterback May is still in it. No one else really kind of separated themselves with like a 500 game, like, Shedeur Sanders. Penix Jr. had a good game. I think he threw for almost 450, 500 yards as well. So it's a little early to tell. It won't be either of the Colorado players because they won't have games that are outstanding enough to do it. Eventually, they will regress back to the mean. They are still playing in the Pac-12, and it is still a team that was, one-win team last year. So
1-11. What it is now? We know the Pac-12 is essentially dissolving, but is this the last year we're going to see Bo Nix playing college football?
I'm hoping this is his last year of eligibility. That dude might be 26, 27 years old by the time he gets out of there.
I mean, come on now. This isn't what's your guy who played at FSU? Chris Winkie, who came into the league. He came in at 24, 25.
Yeah.
We didn't hear about it. We didn't hear about Chris Winkie though. His first 4 years in college, wasn't he playing baseball? And then he's like, okay, I got a couple of years of eligibility.
Quarterback at FSU, and then he got some run in the league though.
But this dude
starting with the Panthers.
But Bo was playing in Auburn as a freshman. Like it seems like a decade ago.
Yeah, and he's been at Oregon almost 3 years now. This is his third season, I think. So yeah, it's like
Man, come on. So I know he got the COVID extension, but come on, dog. Like, well, we've seen enough of you. So we got to talk about the Pac-10, the Pac-8, the Pac-6. Oh no, I mean the Pac-2. Like, you guys are so cold. What school did you go to, Cleveland?
I went to the University of Washington, Cameron.
And so this is the last year for the Apple Cup. Is this going to be the last year for the Apple Cup?
No, we might. I mean, it depends on how scheduling goes. I'm not quite sure how the scheduling is going to look. It can't be an annual thing like it was.
It can't be. We can't keep going out to dinner again. We can't go to dinner every year like we used to.
I don't know if the schedule and the TV people will permit that kind of.
You see how you guys just turn your back on your brethren? You just turn your back on your brother.
No,
you forgot about their relationship.
That's just a school on the other side of the mountain. That's fine.
Oh, you see, just the school that you're not even saying we're calling them brothers no more. They're not even a little brother no more.
We never called them brothers. What are you talking about?
They weren't your little brother. I mean, 3 years ago they weren't the little brother.
Just some cats that we go over there and have to beat up every once, not every once in a while, once a year, because they don't understand, they don't listen good.
Wow. So you're not gonna make a phone call to the Big Ten to say, hey, come on, bring them in. Like nope. They're respectable. They're a respectable foundation. You don't even make a phone call for them on their behalf.
Mm-mm.
That's cold-blooded, man. That's cold-blooded. So the ACC the ACT did get SMU. They did get Cal and Stanford, didn't they?
Yes.
The ACC. Okay, so at least they found a home. What is going to happen to Oregon State? They're still the only ones in the pack, whatever it is. Oregon State.
Yeah, Oregon State and in that other school you were talking about. Yeah, they have to find their way. Can't nobody help them right now. It's unfortunate, when the musical chairs stop spinning. They just
musical chairs stop spinning. They're left standing. They're just like, oh well.
And they're like, oh well.
That's so cold. That's so cold. As a Pac-12 alum, you just turn your back on the school.
How did we turn our back on them? We didn't make these decisions. Those other conferences made their decisions as to who they wanted. They just weren't one of the, schools that they wanted.
But did you even reach out? Sometimes you gotta reach out and help your little cousin.
Sure didn't do that.
That's how you turn your back on them. You didn't even reach out to those guys.
Nope.
You didn't even give them a heads up. Hey,
Cam, this is big time college football, college athletics, and you can't be looking out for everybody all the time. You look out for number one first and foremost. You see what happened at the University of Washington. Went over to the new conference. 2 days later, our athletic director goes where? USC. Now, how cold is that? 2 days after signing with the new conference, you turn around and jump ship and our new athletic director is University of Washington athletic director. What? I'm asking my friends, I'm like, did we fire J. Cole? They're like, no. They just came and poached her. Like, whoa. And you want us to be looking out for that other school across the way? No, man.
Wow.
Thieves in the temple all around, man. Thieves in the temple.
Wow. That's wild. How the Pac-12, the Pac-10, the Pac-8, it just all dissolved. Larry Scott, I have to play. Did you ever see the video with Larry Scott? And he's talking about how I saw your stuff, man. Yeah. It was very far-fetched then, and look at that grandiose nonsense, how it's all played out in later years. I was like, dude, what are you talking about, dog? Like, dog, dog, you got it all wrong. But yeah, it was wild then, man. So you said, Cleveland, your words was watch Earl Spence say he can't handle it at 147. He's gonna now move to 154. Now Earl Spence activate his rematch clause against Terry Crawford. You want to put some respect on that kid's name?
And this is, and perhaps you can enlighten me about this. I thought that Bud Crawford had the decision as to what weight the fight was going to be fought at, but I keep hearing that it's going to be at 154. And it sounds weird that Bud Crawford would say, yeah, let's fight the heavier weight, unless he was having trouble making weight.
I mean, I don't think it really matters to him, to be honest with you. Whether it's 140, 147 or 154, I don't think it really matters. But that's probably something they agreed upon. But that's totally, it's Terrence Crawford or not. Errol Spence has the decision. He has to enact a rematch clause. If he didn't enact the rematch clause, then there wouldn't be a rematch. But it's up to him to enact that. And so what weight they're going to fight at, they have to agree upon that. But I don't really think it matters either way. 147, 154. I don't know how the fighter gets. I can see him getting stronger at 154. I don't know how he gets faster at 154. And Crawford has already shown that he has more speed than him. He has more. Your guy Roy Jones put it best. He has more tools in the toolbox than Errol Spence, and there it is. There. So I don't know how he gets faster. When you go up weight, I don't know how he gets faster, and that's kind of with Charlo going up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo. I mean, that still may be even fight because as Canelo is bigger, his skills haven't eroded to the point that he's a superior fighter over Charlo. But now maybe him coming up weight classes, he kind of evens that playing field out because now Charlo has to adjust to this new weight. Is he going to be as fast? He might be stronger, but he's going to be as fast as he was at 154, as quick as he was. And that I don't have the answer to, but I think that'll be the even because they're going up 2 weight classes. That might be the equivalator, how you ever want to say. That's going to even everything out for him.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, again, we got the wrong Charlo in this fight anyway, so.
Well, yeah, I don't know what the other Charlo's doing though. I don't know what the deal is. So do you think? Well, back to Spence Crawford. Do you think this makes a difference? Do you give what type of chance do you give Errol Spence in the rematch?
I gave him a little bit more of a chance because it is at the heavier weight. He doesn't have to spend so much time dropping weight. Hopefully he's taking a look at the tape and maybe can make some adjustments here or there. But how many adjustments are there really to make? And again, we're not giving Bud Crawford enough credit for, he didn't fight he actually did fight a perfect fight. But I mean, there were still some things he did wrong. There were still some things he did wrong that he could correct. And I think as we both know, Cam, I think that it's always a different fight once the other fighter realizes that you can't really hurt him. And I think that once Crawford was able to kind of take Errol Spence's best punch, even at the heavier weight, you just walk through them and you just do your thing. So if that's the worst that's going to happen when, even if I, get caught by one, then yeah.
Let me just go at him. I got you there. So what is your thoughts? You talked about the US Open. You pulled out your racquetball racket earlier. Try to claim that's a tennis racket there. What are your thoughts on who's been most impressive in this US Open?
Without question, for me, it's been Ben Shelton. That match against Tiafoe, I was expecting to be a lot closer than it was. I know that the humidity and the heat has been playing a major part in kind of how the matches have been
the humidity
transpiring.
Heat is a little different. That's a little different than what you're feeling, sir.
Indeed, yeah, I can't really compare it to what those guys are going through, but so far his ability to get to the semifinals against Novak, that's been pretty amazing. Coco Gauff has been able to get to the semis; she's in the semis as well. So And then, kind of, I don't know if anyone really kind of paid attention or it was somewhat downplayed, but I don't recall 2 African American men being in the quarterfinals of a Grand Slam tournament before, at least not in my lifetime.
They haven't. They haven't actually. They haven't. That was Kornheiser was screaming about that they had, and they played at again, it's 3 hours later on the West Coast, but when they play at 10:30 last night.
Yeah, so it was a night match. No, it was a 5:30 match, so it was 8:30 their time.
Yeah. So it was a late match. So kudos to those guys. And you say Shelton now has moved on. Where's Alcaraz? Is he in it? Is he competing?
Yeah, so he's on the other side of the draw. He's also in the semis. Okay. He won his match earlier.
Okay.
So he is going to be playing Dimitrov, who's been playing really, really well as well.
So now Cleveland. Let's go into the Mariners, who now the Mariners been on a little backslide here. They have been reading their press clippings because they're 5-5 out of the last 10, but that's not what we're going to talk about. Now what I want to do is revisit some of what you talked about since it's kind of getting late in the season, right? What you said after All-Star game, the top stories of the second half of the season. You're American League champs. You have the Mariners and the Padres. How the Padres doing, sir?
Not great. They were reading far too many of their own press clippings and kept waiting for teams to just fall over, and they never did. So, yeah,
we can't even blame injuries on that. I think I may have had been screaming Padres earlier. You can't even blame injuries this season on them. It's just inconsistency, right?
For sure, yeah, and they've never been able to gel and mesh as a team.
Can the Reds make the playoffs? Is one of the things that you wanted to talk about. And they're 5-5 of their last 10, 5 games back, but they beat the Mariners, right? Didn't they beat the Mariners in this last series?
2 out of 3. So they did get the series. The Mariners got the victory earlier today to get the last game before they head out of town.
So how does the dude hit the ball? He hit it to second base, I think, and the second baseman fumbled it around. And your guy had to go number 44 for the Reds. Had to go rebounded and then still threw dude out at first base. Oh, no, it went off the dude, hit it. It went off the pitcher. The second baseman was in position to catch it, and he didn't catch the ball. And then De La Cruz, backing up the second baseman, picked up the ball and still threw the guy out at first base. How does that happen? Was dude loafing down?
No. He was going at a good speed, but you also have to realize that the velocity off the bat was also pretty fast as well. So, it's probably 2 seconds to get to De La Cruz, and he's got a really, really strong arm. So it was just a fantastic.
No, but it went through 2 players. It went off the pitcher. The second baseman missed it, and so it was the pitcher slowed it down. And still went off the second baseman, and De La Cruz picked up the ball on the carom. So that was the third player it got to.
Yeah, so it had good exit velocity to start, and then it went off 2 players, and then it got to the third player who has a really, really strong arm. So it was just a fantastic play on De La Cruz's part.
Wow. One of the things. So the Reds, they don't look like they're going to make the playoffs, right? They're a little far. I think they're in the middle of the middle.
They're kind of. I think they're still treading water on the wild card, right?
I know they're 5 games back. I know you have to. You know better than I would, but I had them. I know they're 5 games out. So yeah, they're. The Cincinnati Reds, they're 5 games back.
They're half a game back in the wild card.
Okay.
Yeah. So
the Yankees don't look like they're making the playoffs.
No.
They're still fumbling and bumbling, fumbling around. So I know you don't want to talk about it, but we have to talk about Ohtani. Ohtani says he will pitch again. Would that concern you as a GM in the offseason?
I don't know if a little bit. Like what is the timeline for you trying to do that? And I mean, this is your second, operation already. So I mean, that's something to consider. But I guess for me as a general manager, I'll be like, okay, well, if you do this again, I mean, you're probably going to have to miss like some significant amount of time as a hitter as well, not just as a pitcher. So, yeah, it's interesting.
I don't know. I think probably the Angels is the only people. With that being said, I think he goes back to the Angels, because if the Dodgers sign him, for example, anybody could be if the Padres sign him, like they would have more say against him pitching. I would think that any new team he goes to would have more say against him pitching. And the Angels would be like, "Nah, dog, we want you back, dude. You do whatever you want. You want to send, your."
I think any team that he signs with will give him the autonomy to do what he wants to do, ultimately. But it will probably be at a lesser dollar amount, and in addition, they have to understand the timeline with which that comes with, right? It's not like he's going to be pitching next year. And once he gets back to pitching, I don't think you really anticipate him doing that for a long period of time.
I just think it's if he went to the Yankees, if he went to the Reds, if he went to the Red Sox, like they're gonna be like, dude, you don't need to be pitching, dog. Just come out here and swing the bat. If that's
but if he's already got his mind made up, like, hey, I want to do both, and you're drawing a line in the sand, you can only hit, then there isn't the opportunity to sign him as a free agent altogether. That's
what I'm saying.
Right. And I don't think that teams are in that mindset just yet that, hey, I just want you to do this and only this. I think they're still very much open-minded to what it is that he thinks he can do physically, and giving him the opportunity to do both if that's what he wants to do.
Okay, interesting.
They're probably not paying him like
he would have made it if he stayed
and the number 4 hitter in your lineup. It's like paying you as a number 4 hitter in your lineup, and hopefully you can pitch again sometime. It's kind of that dynamic. It can't be like I'm giving you the ball every 5 days for sure as soon as you're healthy.
Okay. Well, again, fans, thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Cleveland, thank you for your participation. Remember, fans, we got facts. I got facts I can dig up. So when Cleveland gets on his tangent and gets talking about my my picks and my stats are what you call them, little filtered. Distorted. Yeah, I got facts for you, big dog. I got facts for you. I got facts for the fans. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. As we do each and every week, man, nobody else is giving you guys the numbers game. Nobody else is giving you the history lessons with this week in history. Nobody else leaves the show with a quote. The quote we're going to leave you guys with today, Cleveland, is nobody who ever gave his best regretted it. Nobody who ever gave his best regretted it. Papa George Halas said that. Something to remember. Give your best this week, fans. Give the best this week. Cleveland, next week, do better. Give your best on the pick segment so I don't have to smash you like I smashed you last year. Give your best because you won't regret it, okay? Fans, I want to thank you guys again for tuning in. Leave the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let us know where you're. Leave a comment. Just tell us where you listen to the show from. Are you at work listening to the show? Are you working out listening to the show? How are you listening? How are you absorbing the show? We thank you guys for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Also, hit the share. Share the show with a friend. That's your homework assignment this week. Share the show with one person you know. Just one person you know. And then next week, I actually ask you to share the show with somebody else that you know. that you didn't share it with before. Just share the show. We appreciate it. We need your help in the algorithms. So thank you guys again for tuning in. And as always, fans, thank you for making our voice your choice. All right, Cleveland, later.
All right.